Welcome back to the Sevier Valley Center. Ryan STEINECKERT here as we're just about underway for the final match of the pool play for the Rebels. Almost an hour ahead of schedule. Rich is taking on Grand in this final pool play match of the afternoon, or of the I guess Saturday session, and a little bit ahead of schedule. So apologies, we're going to have to skip right over the Town of Randolph pre-game show. Town of Randolph, good luck Rebels, from Mayor Lynn Weston, board members Sim Bell, Brian Wires, Larry Kennedy, Melanie Lim, and clerk Lana Peart. Grand will get the service to start this set, and the beginning serve of each set is brought to you by the station in Randolph. Rebels receive, pass, and pass it over the net. Grand sets it up high and outside, punched over the top. Rebels, a diving dig is at the net, 50-50. Grand wins it, but the Rebels dig. Brown high and outside for Stacy, crushes it. Dug up by the libero, set high and outside. Rebel block is out of bounds, and Grand leads 1-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. We just got underway. Didn't have time for the Town of Randolph pregame show or the Town of Laketown ledger. We'll get that for you here in a second. I could only find one time that Rich has faced Grand in the last 10 or 12 years. Rich sets high and outside. Stacy hits long and loops it up and out of bounds. In 2015, the Rebels faced Grand at this same tournament 3 years ago, and Rich won in 2 straight, 2-0. That was on the first day of pool play. Tingy receives, Brown high and outside, and Stacy hits to the back line. Dug up, passed and set into the middle. A big hit, and the Rebels dig, but then the second one, nobody's there. Between two Rebels, it falls. I shouldn't say nobody's there. 2 Rebels were there, just neither one was willing to go after it. Both thought the other would. Service by Grace Johnston. The Rebels serve receive goes out of bounds, in a quick 4-0 lead for the Grand Red Devils, for the 3A Grand County Devils. Service, oh good heavens, Rebels, come on. That one was on, from here it didn't even look close. Inches, not even inches, half a foot. We're now at 6-0, and the Rebels might need a timeout here. Colt Schultes off her seat on the bench, calls to her team, let's get going. Another service ace, and boy, this one, Grand running away with it early on. Grace Johnston serving. She's a 5'3" sophomore. Just about another service ace. Rebels all flat-footed, kind of standing around, but they do get it over. Pass up front, set high and outside, tip down the line, diving dig into court number 2. 8-0, Grand on top. Rebels have Johnston serves again, pancake dig. Rebels, nope, didn't get under it. 9-0, Grand. Still no timeout on the court for the Rebels. Trailing big early on. Johnston serves. Rich still looking for a good pass. They get a decent one, set high and outside. Stacy hits, almost drops, but it's punched over. Good hustle by the Red Devils. Brown sets in the middle. Staple pushes it across, tapped up high and kept alive by Courtney Noyes. And then they set it up, hit it back corner. Rebels all turn, watch it go, and it drops in for the kill. A very rough start for this Rolling Kennedy first set, and Johnson finally puts the Rebels on the board with a service error. 10-1. The Devils start on a 10-0 run, and Rich finally gets a chance to serve. Kendall Staple delivers the service. Grand sets it up, big hit, crushed down by Courtney Noyes, the 5'10" outside hitter, and just like that, it's back to a 10-point lead for Grand. Some good service from Johnson, but it was not that good. Grand comes in. They yesterday lost in 2 straight close sets against North Summit. Rebels again let a serve go by that drops in 6 or 8 inches inside the line. Third service ace already in the match. We're still in the first set. All those aces for Grand. Rebels set it up high and outside. Stacy hits, blocked, and boy, Rich just looking sluggish. I don't know if they just all finished lunch and it hasn't digested yet. Maybe they're flat, need a little bit more of a rest, but I tell you, I haven't seen the Rebels play this flat-footed all season long. just sluggish and not quite into it yet. Stacy receives the serve. Brown passes high and Hatch passes over. 13-1 is your score. Grand hits into the net, and 2 Grand mistakes are the 2 Rebel points so far in this first set. Brought to you by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. Johnston receives up front, set high and outside, hit back line. Wallentine, good dig. Brown passes high. Wallentine from the back line, slaps short into the net. 14-2. Yesterday, the Rebels lost to South Sevier 25-20 and then 25-16. They lost to Enterprise 25-10 and 25-12. Grand right now is, Rebels are helping Grand look like a better team than either of those. The Grand Red Devils, somebody was out of rotation, and so Rich gets, does Rich get the point? Yeah, 14-3. Grand really confused. Players up, then off, then back to the bench. And McKenna Stacy serves, bailed out by the libero. That one probably would have gone out, but Grand plays it. They pass it over and out. And good eye by the Rebels this time. They let it go and it drops out. JC Shumway is the libero. Stacy serves again, going to Shumway. Good pass up front this time. High and outside. She passes. Rebels block. Staple digs. Rich goes high and out to Wallentine, who hits cross court on the line. And it appears, knock on wood, the Rebels have woken up at least a bit. That's a few straight points. 3 straight for the Rebels, and McKenna Stacy will deliver the service again. Rebels serving toward us, wearing black. Grand County in the reds with white trim. They serve it or pass it outside. The save attempt at the side net that separates courts goes up over and it's out of bounds. So Rich has cut the lead down to 8, 14-6. Stacy serves again long this time. Her first service error of the set for the Rebels. 15-6. Grand with the lead. Into the match, Lainey Bohannon, a freshman at 5'6". Rebels receive the service from Paige Shumway. The hit goes out off of Grand, and Rich gets the point, 15-7. Taya Peterson will serve. Rich trying to climb back into this one. Wallentine Staple having a few fun little words up at the net. Pass up front, set high and outside, hit into the net. It was low by Bohannon, and Rich is within 7, 15-8. Grand jumped out to a 10-0 lead and pushed it as high as 13-1. Taya Peterson serving for Rich, looking for a Crawford Trough service ace, not this time. Set high and outside, and the hit by Bohannon blocked. Kendall Staple with the epic recreation block of the game. We mark that down. It's also a Bear Lake Realty kill, and Peterson will serve again. Back line, Bohannon, pass up front, back set, pass style, and it's hit by Jessica Jones. Good timing on that attack, and Jones with the kill. Setter is Paige Shumway. Outside hitters, Courtney Noyes and Jessica Jones. Jones with the service. Stacy passes high. Brown high and outside for Wallentine. Back line to the libero. Shumway, they pass it, work it around, hit back line in, just barely on the line. 17-9, Grand back up by 8. Rebels had cut the deficit to 6. 15-9. See if they can get the side out and get things going again. Jones serves. A diving serve received by Stacy, and Rich just passes it over. Set, a back set. Bohannon hits. Rebels dig, keep it alive. It's a 50-50 hit long. Stacy keeps it alive. Brown high and outside. Wallentine punches it across the back line. Set high and outside, hit across, or hit out of bounds. As Noyes was trying to go down the line, she misfired and hit down the line and out. 17-10, Rebels trail in set number 1, brought to you by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. Quick back set. Bohannon taps it across, but it was outside. Oh, no, that was a whistle on a different court. Wallenstein hits into the net on the Rebel attack. 18-10. And back to serve goes Kendall Cox, the 5'7" sophomore for Grand. Cox, number 9. Long ponytail. Steps up to the back line and delivers the serve with the right hand. Brown passes. Stacy from the back line slaps it to the back corner. Diving to try and get there was Kendall Cox, but she couldn't. 18-11. Rebels need a run, 5 or 6 straight here, I would say. Maybe like a 10-2 or something along those lines. A service error is not going to get it done. 19-11. And back to serve, Grace Johnston again. She was serving when Grand jumped out to a 10-0 lead to start. And she serves long. Boy, the Rebels dodged a bullet. They have better eye this time. They let a couple of those go by in the first time Johnston served, and they were in for aces. Kendall Staple serves down the line, barely dug up, passed and hit from the back row, wide outside, too far. Grace Johnston, or no, that was J.C. Shumway, the libero, who hit it out. And it's 19-13. Rich cuts that deficit back to 6. Kendall Staple to serve. Staple with the left, high back line, too long. That one just sailed. And 20-13 is your score in the first set, brought to you by Rolene Kennedy. Again, our pregame show was brought to you by the town of Randolph. Serving is Noyes. Rebels get a good pass. Brown in the middle, sets, Hatch hits through the block and to the ground. 20-14, a Bear Lake Realty kill for Sydney Hatch. And when she gets the set that she needs, the time to get up there, she's so effective as a hitter from the middle. Eliana Brown to serve. And she delivers just about an ace. Barely dug up, set up, hit long by Jones. And the Rebels are within 5. They haven't been this close since it was 5-0 to start the match. Brown serves again. Devils set it up and hit it into the net. Misfired. Rebels within 4. Boy, if the Rebels, if they'd woken up before they were down 10-0, who knows where we'd be. Good service, serve receive, set high and way outside, passed over. Staple, good pass. Brown, high and outside for Stacy. Hit down the line in the corner, and it was tipped by the Red Devils, and Rich is within 3, 20-17 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Brown to serve again. Eliana. Passed high by Cox, set high and outside. Big hit, cross court to the Rebel bench. It's out, and Rich is within 2, 20-18. Coach Brittany Melton takes a timeout. Devils melting down in that first set. They were up 10-0. Rebels are within 2, 20-18. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston is Rich County's representative. As a mother and grandmother of Rich High graduates and current students and a longtime resident of Randolph, Rolene is familiar with your needs and will work to provide you with the best customer service in the industry. The next time you're looking for a new car or truck, think Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Play hard and go Rebels.
Rebels serve, trailing by 2, 20-18. Set high and outside, and it's hit. It skips off the top of the net, rolls over the top, and finally the side out. That was a Rebel 7-0 run. And it's 21-18. Rich needs another quick side out. Grand gets much closer to 25, and Rich won't have a chance. Service by the libero, Shumway. Wallenstein passes it out of bounds, but Stacy is there. And Hatch passes it over. High and outside, and Cox with the big hit. No, that's Jones. Rebels dig, set it up. Stacy hits, she's blocked, digs it out of bounds, and the Red Devils lead 22-18 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Again, Grand went up 10-0 to start this match. Rebels Went on a couple of nice runs, never gave up, and they trail by 4. Stacy hits, it's dug, out of bounds, but they keep it alive. Set up, hit, off the block, out of bounds. The hit by Jessica Jones puts Grand up 23-18 in the first set, brought to you by Rolene Kennedy. Back to serve again, the libero, J.C. Shumway. It's an ace. Rebel serve receive goes under the net, and that will all but do it. 24-18 in this first set. Grand has the set point. Rebels need at least 7 straight. Wallenstein receives. Brown in the middle for Hatch. Taps it across. Not a lot of power. Dug easily. Set and hit hard. Rebel block deflects it out of bounds, and Grand wins 25-18. Again, jumped out to a 10-0 lead and never looked back. Rebels got it close within 2, 20-18 late in the set, in that first set, but couldn't get all the way back. 25-18 is your final. Grand scores the final 5 points of the set and wins set 1, brought to you by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
The Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service. They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live. Once you've visited the Bear Lake Valley, you'll want to come back many more times. Realtor Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty can show you ways you can own a piece of the lake. Whether you want a summer home, a lot, a quarter share in a home, or a place to live year-round, Gary McKee is the #1 real estate agent in Bear Lake. Visit with Gary today and learn about all the options you have. Bear Lake Realty in Garden City, Utah. Visit bearlakerealty.com.
Grand jumped out to a 10-0 lead. The Rebels outscored the Red Devils 18-15 the rest of the way, including 18-10 for the next couple of minutes. Rich got to within 2 at 20-18, but boy, just too much of a deficit to overcome. Grand scored the final 5 points and won 25-18 in the first set. Grand earlier today beat North Sevier. They lost the first set, then took sets 2 and 3. They beat Carbon 25-15 and 25-13, no trouble. Rebels didn't have much trouble with North Sevier, beating them in 2 straight, but lost in 3 to Carbon. Big hit is long and out by Courtney Noyes, and the Rebels have their first lead of the match. 1-0 to start set 2, brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Our beginning serve of each set presented by the station in Randolph, and Kendall Staples serves just a bit long. Again, from this very poor angle, it looked in, but the line judge with a much better angle, she got it right, I'm sure. Service into the net for Grand. Puts the Rebels back on top, 2-1. Rich only served a few times in that first set, had 2 service errors, no aces. The Red Devils had 1 service error and 4 aces. Big hit, Rebel block, and then it's dug up, clear up into the bleachers. And a young lady looks like she's reading a book as she watches her team play. I don't know how much watching is going on if she's reading. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 service errors, 1 and 4 service aces for Grand in that first set. Rebels scrambling, but they get it over. We're tied at 2 in second set, brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Set up, Rebel block, out of bounds. Sydney Hatch was right in position, but the block came off kind of the heel of the hand, and that made it travel a longer distance than she wanted it to. Service ace, Wallenstein deflects it to the back line, and Courtney Noyes will serve again. 4-2. Grand with the lead on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard in set number 2. Good service received by Stacy. Brown set. Stacy hits, and where's the player behind her to dig? The Rebels just not, I feel like not, maybe they're tired. I mean, this is their, they played 3 matches yesterday. This is the 3rd match today. Just not in position on that hit attempt. Stacy hits again and goes long. 6-2. The block was in position for her to hit toward the middle of the court, and she just split the block, and that was unfortunate because it went long. If that hits a fingertip or something. Rebels serve receive under the net, 7-2. Rebels might need a timeout here, and that's what Coach Schultz thinks as well. Scoreboard is behind. It's 7-2 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Ever since 1871, when Joseph C. Rich surveyed the town site, the town of Woodruff has been a thriving ranching community. Settlers were attracted by the broad valley and green grasses, the mountain trout in the streams, the elk and deer herds in abundance, and the neighbors were friendly. That's how people still are today. Visit Woodruff, and you too will experience that friendliness. It's everywhere. It's the town of Woodruff, Utah, where we're proud of our rich Rebels.
Scoreboard says 5-3 as we return. I thought they'd fix that during the timeout. They don't. A service error gives the Rebels another point. I've got that it should be 7-3 Grand, but scoreboard says 5-4. That's 3 points off from what I've got. And if you consider what serves and how that's gone, I don't know how it could be any different. Big hit down the line, crushed by Jessica Jones. That's after the Rebels served. 8-3 is my score. We'll see if the scoreboard changes anytime soon. In that first set against Carbon this morning, I thought I had it right. Then I went back to what the scoreboard was saying, and then they changed it back to what it should have been. So I'm going to hold off on changing things just yet. Allie Wallenstein set up nicely, and she hits it cross court. I've got it at Rich trailing 8-4. Scoreboard says 6-5. Rich is your guest on that Stacy's Repair scoreboard if you're tuned in online at MyLocalRadio.com. I may just totally be off by a few points, but I don't think so. Serve, or the Red Devils set it up, hit back line. Burton gets 2 hands up, but not quick enough, and hits it backwards, 7-5. I'll just give you that score and keep my score as we continue on and see if things get fixed or corrected or changed in any way. Brown sets for Tingy, hits cross court, dug up by the libero, J.C. Shumway. Touch attack by Grand, diving dig, nice job by Brown with a Pugstone Sporting Goods dig of the game. Grand sets it up and hits into the net. Rebel block was there had she hit it over. Looked like Wallenstein was right in position. Let's give the Pugstone Sporting Goods dig of the game right there to Eliana. Service by Tingy. 7-6, Rebels down by 1. Big hit back line, Jessica Jones. She's listed at 5'7". She's got some good hops, gets up and boy, hits it hard. 8-6, Grand on top again by 2. Second set is brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Grand ran away with the first set, winning 25-18 after they jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Service, and that's a tough serve with a lot of movement on a floater. That's already 3 service aces in this second set for Grand. They had 4 service aces in the first set. Rebels having trouble on the serve receive here in this third match of the day. Service, and Burton passes. Brown dives, keeps it in the air, but a third touch not in time. Not a good serve receive. Rebels continue to struggle with the serve receive today. 10-6 is the score, 4-point deficit. Burton serve receive with a pancake. Nope, it was on the floor. Third, make it 11-6. Rebels trailing. Jessica Jones to serve again. Jones serves. Peterson, good pass this time. Brown high and outside for Wallenstein. Hit down the line. It's deflected into the bleachers, straight back. And Rich gets the side out they needed, trailing 11-7 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Back to serve, Allie Wallenstein. She goes back to her running jump serve and delivers a beautiful serve. It's passed to the outside, out of bounds, but kept alive and passed over. Rich gets a good pass. Brown in the middle. Staple to the back line. Shumway digs it up. They set it up in the middle. Rebels block. Staple there for the stuff. Epic Recreation block of the game. Grand sets it up again. Touches it to the back corner. And Rich, again, just turns and watches it go rather than trying to get a play on it. And it's 12-7, Grand on top. Kendall Cox with the service. Good pass by Tingy. Brown high and outside. Stacy hits. It's dug just barely. Set up, hit, blocked by the Rebels. McKenna Stacy, but blocked to the floor. 13-7. Grand pushes out to a 6-point lead. Cox, the sophomore for Grand, to serve again. Going to Stacy. She gets off a nice pass. Brown to Stacy on the outside. Hit. Shumway digs. Set it up for Shumway on the back line, and she finds a nice spot in the back corner, and the Rebels watch it go. 14-7. Grand doubling up the Rebels in this second set. Brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Stacy passes. Brown. It's a 50-50, and Eliana just tips it over. Grand can't control it, and Rich earns the point. 14-8. Rebels down by 6. They'll check Hatch back into the front line. Hatch, Stacy, and Brown up front. Wallentyne, Tingy, and Staple on the back line as Kendall serves. Shumway passes. Back set, and the hit cross court. Tingy with the nice dig. Brown sets high and outside. Stacy hits it over the net. It's passed back right to Rich. Brown set in the middle. Hatch hits into the block, and it's knocked to the floor on Grand's side of the net. Rich within 5, 14-9 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Kendall Staple back to serve with the left hand down the line. Passed high by Noyes. She gets the set high and outside and crushes it down the line. 15-9. Grand pushes back out to a 6-point lead. Rebels preparing for the serve receive. Grace Johnston, the sophomore, serves. Tingy, good pass. Brown high and outside. Stacy hits and splits the D. She got to pass the block and split the defenders on the back line. 15-10. Rich down by 5 again on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. And Eliana Brown gets set to serve. Brown winds, delivers, passed high by Shumway, high and outside. They go to Noyes, blocked and dug up out of bounds. Nice Epic Recreation block of the game for the Rebels, who trail 15-11. I've got that it should be 17-10. 15-11 is the 3 points closer for the Rebels, so we'll just go with that. Brown serves, Shumway passes. Pass high and outside by Shumway. Rebels dig, set it up. Hatch hits, and it's dug by Johnston. Set, back line. Libero gets off a nice hit. Rebels dig, goes up out of bounds and into court 4. So 16-11. Noyes to serve. Senior, one of just a couple seniors on this Grand team. Hatch hits, and it's dug up. Back line, Noyes hits. Stacy digs, left side. Brown passes it back. Stacy hits again to the back line. That's dug by, I'm not sure who that, the dig was Kendall Cox. And then it's slapped over. Rebels dive, but can't quite dig it up. 17-11 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard, and Noyes to serve again for the Grand Red Devils. Serving toward us at mylocalradio.com. Wallentyne, not a good serve receive, but it's just kept in the air and then passed over. Set up, back set. Rebels get a double block on that one. Tipped right back to Rich, 50-50. Stacy punches it. Grand sets up the attack and gets it to drop. Rebels hustling, getting touches, if not good touches. They're working hard to get any touches they can. 18-11, Grand with the lead. Staple serve receive. Brown high and outside for Stacy. Hit back corner, too long. 19-11, Grand with the lead. They led by the same score in the first set. Rebels went on a 7-1 run at that point. in set number 1. We're in the town of Woodruff set 2. Wallenstein receives with an overpass. Easy happy birthday for Jessica Jones. And 20-11. Grand leads big in set number 2. Service received by Stacy. Brown high and outside. McKenna tips it down the line and drops it in. A Bear Lake Realty kill. 20-12. Rebels still down big, needing a run here. Shelby Burton checks in to serve. She provided the Rebels a major spark in a win at Tabiona a couple of weeks ago. Set 4, served 3 straight aces to go from down 24-22 to up 25-24. Big hit by Jones. The Rebels dig goes out of bounds. 21-12. Score inversed. And Shumway, the libero, this is JC, the sophomore, drops back to serve. Staple receives. Brown high and outside. Wallenstein hits long, out of bounds. 22-12. 10-point lead for Grand. Rebels won a match yesterday, won a match today. Looking like they'll be in the copper bracket of this tournament, I believe. We'll see how things shake out. Set up in the middle. Hatch blocks. High and outside this time. And the Rebels Hatch blocks again. But then it drops on the Rebel side of the net. Blocked the first time. Didn't control much. Just trying to get her hands up there to block it any way she could. Second time was just a tip block. Or just a tip to try and keep it in the air. And I think she just hit it too soft. 23-12. Shumway serves again. She's the libero. Rebels get a good pass. High and outside for Wallenstein. Alley hits, takes a little something off it, and it deflects off the blocker's hand and to the floor. So Taya Peterson will step in to serve for Rich, needing at least 8 or 10 straight here. Noise, overpass, Staple goes up, taps it, Shumway digs, set up high and outside, tip down the line and out. Had a good angle on that one from where we're sitting, and we could see that one was out of bounds. 23-14. Rich down by 9. Peterson to serve again. See if we can get a Crawford Trough service ace. And we do. Peterson with the service ace, brought to you by the Crawford Trough, the place to eat and drink in Randolph. They're open later on game days than on regular days. Peterson serves into the net. Doggone it. 24-15, set and match point for the Grand Red Devils. Paige Shumway, freshman setter, back to serve. She's a southpaw, left-handed serve. Pretty floater serve with no rotation. Rebels get a decent pass, set it up, hit it, blocked, Rebel side, ball game. 25-15 the final. Grand with a pretty dominant win over the Rebels in 2 straight, 25-18 and 25-15. Rebels go 1-2 yesterday, 1-2 today. Rebels will play again pretty quick. We'll let you know when that will happen in just a couple of minutes as we take a look at the bracket and things like that. But Rich will play a fairly quick turnaround, I think. Schedule says either 1:30, either 2:30 or 3:30, but this court is ahead of schedule, so I'm sure the tournament organizers will move ahead if they can. In the meantime, our second set has been brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Had we gotten to it, a third set would have been presented by Rich County. Our Mountain Valley Cattle Company post-game show is up when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
It's fun helping each customer find the best vehicle for their needs. I'm Tracy Lawley and I've worked with my brother Kurt for 23 years. Back in 1969, my grandfather Donnell Jensen sold a customer this 1969 Dodge Charger. Years later, I had the opportunity to sell that same customer a new Dodge truck. And we continue to have the opportunity to serve his children and grandchildren. If you're buying a car from someone who isn't having fun, you should definitely come see me before you sign on the dotted line.
Winston Churchill said, "No hour of life is wasted that is spent in the saddle." The same is true about education. No hour of life is wasted when learning. Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mountain Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, understand the value of good education. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming, Mountain Valley Cattle Company is proud to support the students at Rich High School in academics and activities. Mountain Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
According to the United States Census of 2010, the town of Randolph has a population of 464 people, and every one of us root for the Rich High Rebels.
Who slams it home?
Welcome to Randolph, Utah. We love being able to host the visiting teams, their coaches, their parents, and fans when Rich High has a home game. We love all of our visitors year-round and hope that you can take some time soon to come and visit us in our little slice of heaven, Randolph, Utah.
Welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company. Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. Time for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Recap, where they spend 6 hours daily slicing all natural meats and fresh produce for your 30-second sandwich. That's Jimmy John's at 113 Front Street in Evanston. Oh, that match went super quick. That was just surprising, and Rich might be thinking the same thing as well. Rebels in day 2 of the Richfield tournament after beating North SEVIER and losing to Carbon. The Rebels take on Grand in the final match of pool play for the day, and Grand jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Grace Johnston was serving, and boy, a couple of aces in there, and Rich just, boy, didn't wake up. Not sure what was going on, but they were down 13-1 before they kind of got things going. From that point, from being down 13-1, they outscored Grand 17-7 and trailed 20-18. Then the Red Devils took a timeout and scored the next 5 to win 25-18. So it was a good comeback by the Rebels, but they just didn't quite complete it. Set 2, Rich took an early lead, 1-0, but that disappeared pretty quickly, and Grand went on a run, went on to win 25-15 in set 2. Rich just didn't look like the effort was fully there for this one. I don't know if they're tired. Maybe they just ate, feeling sluggish, or what it was. But a tough loss, a 2-0 loss against Grand. The Rebels had 1 service ace in the match and just 2 service errors, so that's a good number. Grand had 4 service errors and 7 service aces in the match. At Freaky Fast Recap brought to you by Jimmy John's at 113 Front Street in Evanston, where fresh and fast meat, gourmet sandwiches, fresh and fast every day. Now Rich will take the court again with that loss against Grand. The rest of the bracket, so Rich went 1-2. Carbon went 2-1. They beat Rich and North SEVIER. North SEVIER went 0-3. They lost to all 3 teams, and Grand went 3-0 today in pool play. So Rich will be the 3rd team from Pool G, 3rd seeded team from Pool G, and the schedule has them playing in the copper bracket at 2:30. Now again, tournament organizers will move that up if they can, so that match could happen any minute. We're just going to have to keep our eyes open, keep it tuned to KADQ and mylocalradio.com for the next Rebel match coming up. And I'm not sure who that'll be against. It'll be against the 4th place team from Pool H. And boy, that's any number of teams. So I'll get that figured out. We'll find out who Rich plays next. From here on out, it's single elimination, and if Rich wins the next match, they would play for the championship of the copper bracket. If they lose the next match, well, then they'd be done for the day and for the weekend. That's, let's see, your post-game show is brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company. Stay tuned. We've got some Bear Lake Memorial Hospital post-game highlights and stats when we return on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 20 for quality and best practices and critical access. Offering a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. When it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
Most of our limits we have in life come from the walls in our own mind. The Town Council and citizens of Laketown, Utah celebrate all students and staff in the Rich School District. Learning and education will help make that wall in your mind shorter, so it is easier to jump over. We encourage every student to reach their full potential through hard work, continued education, and focus.
Go Rich Rebels!
Back on the Mountain Valley Cattle Company post-game show, a quick two-set win for Grand, 25-18 and 25-15. The Red Devils jumped out to a 10-0 lead in the first set. Rebels got it back to within 2 at 20-18, but that was as close as they'd get. Again, just a real quick two-set loss, and Rich goes 1-2 in pool play yesterday, 1-2 in pool play today as well. And the Rebels will finish out the weekend in the copper bracket, and they're scheduled to play again at 2:30. Now, whether the tournament will move things ahead, I'm sure they will move things ahead if they can. Rich will be the next match on court 4, and if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, you can see some of the action going on that court on the right side of your monitor. And we'll find out in the next couple of minutes, and then I'll see if I can get a post up onto Facebook about when the Rebels will play next real quick. But in the meantime, Mountain Valley Cattle Company post-game show. We've got the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital post-game highlights and stats. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, count on us to care. Rebels had some nice plays in that match, just not enough consistency. Kendall Staple, epic recreation block of the game in the first set. That helped the Rebels get back from that 13-1 deficit and climb to within 2 at 20-18. That was right in the middle of that climb. Rebels were down 15-9 after Kendall's epic block that dropped to the floor for the point. Puckstone Sporting Goods dig of the game, Eliana Brown. In the second set, the Rebels were down 9-4. Ellie had a great pancake dig, and if I remember right, it was on a serve, and she just pancaked it, got underneath it, dug it up. Rebels got the point and trailed 9-5 at that point in the second set. Precision play of the game, I'm not sure. Maybe just the fact that the Rebels were down 13-1, and I mean, that's a 12-point deficit. They cut that lead, or that deficit, down to 2 at 20-18 by the time or late in that first set. But I mean, we'll give that as your precision play of the game, brought to you by McKay Freight, DDS, dental services at reasonable rates for the whole family. Aces today were brought to you by the Crawford Trough, Kills by Bear Lake Realty, and our camera is presented by Bear Lake Realty, Gary and Amber McKee in Garden City. These post-game highlights and stats have been brought to you by Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. By Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, count on us to care. Our post-game show is brought to you by Mountain Valley Cattle Company, and that's Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. That wraps up our post-game show. AJ, I'll let you know as soon as I know. I'll send you a text as far as when the next match will be. Again, it's scheduled for 2:30, but we already just saw the Rebels match against Grand was supposed to start at 1:30 in 2 minutes from now. So they're moving things along and ahead if they can. And so we'll be back on the air with more Rich Rebel volleyball before too long. Stay tuned to KADQ and mylocalradio.com. Until then, I'm Ryan STEINECKERT. We'll talk with you again soon.
You've been tuned in to Rich High Rebel Volleyball on Rebel Radio, KADQ FM 98.3, with video online at mylocalradio.com. Today's match has been brought to you by these Rebel supporting businesses and individuals: Plains Tire, Evanston Regional Hospital, Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, Cash Honda Yamaha, Bear Lake Convention and Visitor Bureau, Rocky Mountain Yeti, mylocalradio.com, and by Jensen Wood Motors in Montpelier, Idaho. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of Old West Media, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without express written consent of the aforementioned rights holder.
Our executive producer is Val Cook. We thank our office manager, Kayleen Anderson, and our sales manager, Julie Burley, along with KNYN Sports Director, Jake Hibbert, Bridger Valley Sports Director, Sean Bennett, and production assistants, Jordan Bowie and AJ Lamb. Biggest thanks to all of our sponsors and to you for tuning in. We invite you to visit mylocalradio.com for archived games and past interviews with Rebel players and coaches. Thank you for joining us on this presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KDQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. Until the next time, the Rich High volleyball team takes the court.